Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to talk to you today about the narcissist identity theft and the lack thereof, and also some points on healing. So let's jump in. So when you meet the narcissist and you go through a cycle with the narcissist, and they are really all about stealing your identity to do a transference of energy or emotions, energy and motion into you of all of who they are. So they get you to project, to accept by guilt, accepting it, or apologizing for things you didn't do, and accepting the words and the curses that they tell you that you are or all of a sudden have become, because up until they got you in devalue mode your whole life, you never heard some of these accusations. And when they met you just several months prior, they were infatuated with you and they liked all these awesome traits about you and put you on a pedestal. But now they're demoralizing you and degrading you for all those same traits, all those mannerisms, all of what makes up you. So you got to understand and not accept the guilt they try to throw on you, the guilt tripping, trying to put this inferiority complex on you, or like they're superior to you or smarter than you, or trying to seek the validation and instruction from the narcissist when they're just out to destroy you. They're out to sabotage you, destroy you. You were never in a relationship, and it was just a situationship, and it was a situationship to where the narcissist got all the benefits and you got nothing. But when they're with you, the biggest thing is they got to transfer their negative energy, and they have to take your good soul energy when they do that. So they have to devise plans to get you to accept these things. And devising of the plans they've been doing their whole life, and they get instruction from the dark energy that's inside them. They've been devising these plans ever since childhood, and it's not that they're even devising them as much as they're being directed by the dark energy inside them, that they have formed agreements with, covenants with, contracts with, and sacrifice their true self for the false self. So now they have no self, and this thing instructs them on how to take you down. It has now become their inner voice, and so it directs them. So there is a strategic plan to take you down, and there are certain forms that they go by. But when you wake up and you quit cycling with them, when you leave them, this is what I want to get at. When you leave them, say either mid-cycle or when they don't have backup supply or good backup supply, they always have somebody, usually, generally. But if it's not somebody that they can identity shift with, so they usually have people that are similar to their vibration, so they're not going to try to shift identities with them. They will if they have to, as much as they can, but they don't get any power from that. They don't get any seducing or charisma, any kind of allure, any charm from that. They get it from your energy, from that virgin energy, somebody who doesn't know, unbeknownst to them, that they're getting this stolen, somebody that's a good individual, somebody that has the 9 fruits of the spirit and operating in them, and they're operating in goodness. So that's where they get their best benefits from. That's good fuel. That's pure fuel. And when they have to get it from somebody else, that's not very good. So my point is if you leave them and it's unbeknownst to them, it just crept up on them, and if they didn't expect this and they don't have supply in the background, and you haven't formed their identity. See, every time they go to somebody as a primary source, when they leave you, they go to another person that they feel is going to form this identity, this new identity for them, at least for a time. But it doesn't last forever, and they take your energy to do it. But if they haven't had time to really take your energy, and for you, because you got to project onto them a lot of your admiration, adoration, and build them up also. So you give them your energy, and then you build them up with your energy and tell them how good they are. So it's just crazy how it's bad for you and it's good for them, and how you end up working. They work this thing, or you work in it as well. But if you don't give them all of that, give them the fuel and build them up, and you leave them and it's unexpected to them and they don't have a whole lot of supply in the background, what happens is they don't really know who they are. They're really aloof. And this is what leads to problems or collapses or calamity in their life as well. And I don't think anybody's really talked on this, but this is true, and this is what happens. This is some of the deeper stuff in narcissism, deeper thinking in narcissism. But this is what happens. They haven't formed their identity, nor have they stolen enough of your soul energy fuel, because they haven't gotten to that point yet to where they're, say, devaluing, or say they haven't got to the point to where they're, say, devaluing you to that level yet, because it's incremental. And if they do it too fast, they're afraid you'll run away, and you will. And it could be cycle 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. But it does, sometimes they do leave you quicker, but that's because they've gotten to a point to where they could break you down and steal that fuel quicker. And I bet y'all didn't think about that one. So the quicker you give you all your fuel up, then you're tapped out and they have it all. There's no reason for them to be with you, because you're just going to need them. And when you're needy, they can't give you anything. And they don't want you to take the energy back that you gave them or they stole from you. So on little parts of healing, I think the best thing to do is, when you've been meshed in all this all your life with your family and then these individuals, the best thing to do is first to see that there is a difference between your personal life and your life out and about. So your personal life is something that you can control, and your life in the world, say at work, at school, at church, out and about, that's something you cannot necessarily control, or you can't control exactly who you're dealing with. You have to work around individuals or see individuals on a daily basis. So there should be contrast, because for you to have balance, if you're getting narcissists on your personal life and your professional life and out and about in a worldly life, then you're not going to have any kind of comfort. So the first thing that you need to do is at least get those people out of your personal life, family, friends, everybody that is on that narc vibration. And then you can find some comfort and see the contrast, and that's how it should be. And that way, that's a big piece of healing, in my opinion. And that's what's worked for me, and that's what will work for you. So that's a good piece that I don't think I've heard anybody really talk about. But that's something that I would focus on. Because if you have them in your personal life, you're not going to have contrast, and then you're going to have no balance. And that's going to make you have them that annoying, angry, or annoyed kind of feeling all the time, because you can't get a break from it. And you can control the stuff in your personal life. So that's something that I wanted to talk about. And then another thing that came up was, a lot of people say they never get their reaping what they sow, and their negative reaping. But think about it like this. They're on a constant run to always find the next source of supply, and they have to do it because these identities that they use, they don't last very long, and so they have to continually go. It's like food for them. They cannot operate at all, even as a functional human being, without having that, because they won't know who they are. They lose themselves very quickly without having that identity shift. So that's why, to some degree, it's almost like food for them, or survival. Because if they get to that point, they can have a collapse very quickly. Everything's very fragile with a narcissist. And so they have to run and get the next supply, next supply, next supply, next supply. And they have to constantly give anything it takes to get it. Whether it be intercourse, even if they don't want to do it. Whether it be anything. That's why they have to become pathological liars, because what they have agreed to, their consent to give up on their true self. When people say they sell their soul or whatever, I mean, maybe they didn't technically do it, but they really have. And then every time they go to somebody, they have to become what you want in the very beginning to steal that fuel. And they got to mirror back the best you, because you feel comfortable with your own energy, although you don't really see your own energy sometimes. So that's why when you see it reflected back to you, you think it's awesome, because chances are you are a pretty good person and you don't realize, and you beat yourself up too much. But they have to constantly do this. And this is soul selling to some degree, because it's like you're becoming a Judas to yourself. I mean, you are trading yourself in to sell yourself any which way you have to, either as a piece of meat, having to have intercourse with people you don't want to, just to get that next source. And they have to continually run around to get it. And if they don't get it, they're in big trouble. So they got to keep that pipeline full. So they have to continually run and cheat and lie. And now it's become, whether they like it or not, they cannot rewind this thing. I know some people think that they can get redemption, but they can't. The pathology would be impossible. It would be impossible, and it would be impossible once you give up on the fruits of the spirit for you to just get them back. That's one thing. If you become evil and you can still feel empathy, then you can rewind it. You have the opportunity for redemption. But when you just feel evil and you don't feel any parts of love, and you left all the connections to love cut off to die, and then you don't even have your true self anymore because you sacrificed it to an evil, dark, energetic spirit to have full control over you. That's what happens. They like what they are, who they are. So all I could say is when you wake up, the best thing you could do is run and detach and cut them off as soon as possible, because they are wrecking your life from the start to the finish. And if you walk in continual deception, feeling like you love them, I mean, they have you pour your heart out. So you do feel like you've given so much, but it's all unfair. It's all unhealthy, and it's not right. So it's like really breaking an addiction, and it's a spiritual thing as well. So it's like extra connected. So those are the things I wanted to go over with you today, because they sabotage. They're there as a sabotage to your life, to wreck it. Every area, every function. They're never a blessing. So don't ever go there and think that they've blessed you somehow, because they have never blessed you. You are their complete blessing. And a lot of times they don't get somebody as good as you. And that's why a lot of times when you leave, you are the best thing they ever had. And they kick themselves at some point, because they end up with these low-level supplies. And it may take them a few years, because they may be trotting after it thinking, well, the next one will be it. The next one will be it. Or they find a piece of you in somebody else, but it's still not you. Listen, this is the thing. You're authentic, and nobody can copy you and be like you. That's the other thing. People will always see cracks in them, even when they're running in their liquidity of their best energy, because God has made authenticism the top. There's nobody that can beat out your authentic energy. The copy is not the same. It will never be. And a lot of times when they try to take over your identity, they try to take over your gifts, they try to take over your mannerisms and the way you do things, the way you laugh, talk, and they cannot do what you experience. Kills the copy. What you have is what you experienced. And the reason why they're so good at evil is because that's the only thing they have experience, is manipulating, deceiving, and tricking individuals. And that's what they're good at, because that's the truth of what they are. And that's what they perform every day. So if you perform it, then that is your passion. Whatever you're passionate in. And this is the thing. If you want to get healthy from the narcissist, find your passion. What lights you up? What makes you get excited? And you take that passion to the 15th degree, and you will forget all about the narcissist. So thank you for watching. Give me a like, subscription, and a thumbs up. Love you all. Till next time. Soul Jeff. Peace. We out.